What's up, babes? Welcome back to Damien After Dark. If you're new here, you already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button so you are up to date when I post new content and so much more. We are here with the Baddies Season 2, Episode 12 review. Episode 12! We're 12 days in this bitch. 12 weeks, however you want to call it. But it's winding down to the end. We're almost at the end of the season. And I feel like I've grown to like all these girls. I feel like I've been on the bus with them on the road. Do y'all not feel that way? Like I feel like, and not even just me, like y'all that watch my videos. When I read your comments and I comment back at y'all and shit, I feel like all of us have been on this bus ride with these girls across the South. Especially if you've been to these cities and you can relate and you know, all the different girls, their personalities, no matter who fought with who, I genuinely think I like all of them. With that being said, last week's episode ended, and this week's episode is picking up with Chrisean getting arrested in New Orleans when they were leaving the hotel. Now, as I said last week, and I'm bringing this up again because the girls talked about this a little bit, there something else to Chrisean getting arrested. That's the big picture here, because she said she got pulled over in Oklahoma and they got 7 grams of weed, not even an ounce of weed they found on her. And she took the rap for her friend who had the weed the whole time. So my thing is, why are the U.S. Marshals hunting her down over 7 grams of weed? Okay, when weed is legal in over half the country. Now I get Oklahoma is probably not a legal state. There are not many legal states in the South, if any, for especially recreational weed that I can think of. So, there's something more to that. Persuasion says that Rock kept saying to her, she needs to go, that she felt like they were coming, like Rock knew they were coming after her. So my thing is, I think y'all remember in the previous episode, she said they texted her. So if they texted you, I would have left that phone in whatever city that I was in, because they are obviously pinging your phone and watching your every move. That also makes me think there's more to it. If you get pulled over for weed, you don't go to court for it, they do not hunt you down for that. Unless the Oklahoma laws are different. Do I have any Oklahoma followers here? Somebody help me out, because I'm not understanding why they hunted her down like this. But one good thing about it is you can tell, like, despite the girls' differences and their fights and the drama, when something happens to one of them that doesn't involve any of the other girls, they all come together as one and they rally around one another and they support one another. And that's cool to see. You know, it's like a sisterhood, which we also see later on. They talk about having a sisterhood and how they also feel the same way. And also Natalie points out what I've been saying the whole time, which is, y'all remember on the bus, she was like, why are the U.S. Marshals here? Like, this wasn't even the police, and this was like, you know, the big motherfuckers coming after you. So she's wondering what else was going on to it as well, which we see later on in the episode. Chrisean gets out the next day, so it obviously wasn't that bad. So I don't know, maybe it was just for weed. Okay, so changing rooms here. The only thing I can really think of as to why the U.S. Marshals would possibly be coming for Rock from Oklahoma, for an Oklahoma charge and coming to New Orleans is possibly because maybe of her notoriety. I don't know if Rock was in the news as much as she is now, but that's the only thing I could think of. Like, maybe they were just trying to make an example and say, let's go after this reality TV star so she doesn't think she can just get away with it. I don't know. Somebody, if you can provide more context below, I would love that. So the girls head to Houston and they get there and they pull up to what looks like a fucking haunted house. I was literally thinking that as I was watching, and then Jayla says that this house, she actually knows of this house, and that it had been burned down and they rebuilt it, but the house was haunted and it kind of looked like it. And I was worried at first, and then they went in. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting the house to be a little nicer, but it looked like an antique home. Like, I don't know why you'd want to bring the baddies there. There looked like a lot of stuff there was breakable. Like, if they got to fight, and they would break a lot of antique shit. That's what it looked like to me. So, and my thing is like, was the budget, was the budget running low, Zeus, or something? You know, no shade, but it was a cute house. It was a cute house, like a little dollhouse in a way. Um, then the girls all go to their rooms. Jayla had the best room, in my opinion. It was a tie between hers and Natalie's room because Jayla had the terrace and the big balcony, big outdoor terrace and balcony where you could just lounge and do your thing. And then Natalie had like a separate living room. Like her room was like a suite. Like she had a living room, then she had her bedroom. So I was like torn between whose room I liked the best. I think Jayla's probably, you know, because you got a living room in the house, but not everybody gets a terrace, right? So Persuasion, Bree, outside smoking a blunt, and they're bringing up there's somebody else out there. Who was the other person out there? I don't remember. Anyway, they're outside smoking, and they're like, so what do you think about the Natalie and Rolly fight? I'm like, why do we have to bring this shit up? This happened like a day or two ago. Y'all moved on. I thought we were over it, but what would it be without reality TV not bringing up stuff? They gotta have some drama, right? So I understand them kind of bringing it up. So okay, and that's who it was. It was Anne who was sitting there smoking with her. And Anne says that when her and Rolly got into a fight, Rolly pretty much knocked the coins out of her head and she ain't fighting no more. She's like, I'm done with the drama. And you know what? I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I knew it. I knew it. I called it. If you go back and watch my beginning episodes, my beginning reviews of the season when it first aired, I didn't like Anne. I gave her problems. But I said I'll probably end up liking Anne by the end. And I did. You know, she started up some shit. She wanted to have a moment. I get that. And then she just fell back and enjoyed the rest of the show. And I like that she's owning this. She's owning it. She took her L and she's moving on. Look, Rolly whooped my ass. I don't want to fight no more. I'm done. I just want to have a good time. So I appreciate that. And I actually like her. Persuasion says that she's actually scared of Sidney popping up and starting shit. And then Rolly says that, I think it was Rolly, no, it was Anne that said that Sidney actually DM'd her and asked for money to know where they were. And I'm like, damn, this is like the second or third person that said that. Because if y'all remember, I thought producers were asking Sidney to show up these places and paying her to start shit because they needed drama. Part of me still feels that way. Maybe the first time. I think they may have did it the first time. But then I think she started getting thirsty and doing it more and more as the season went on. Like you're messaging people and offering money to show up. Like, damn, Sidney, really? So they talk about Anthony having a pool party. They're gonna go to that later. And then they said they're gonna go to a strip club after that. Jayla is in her room and Rock FaceTimes her and she's out of jail. She's still in New Orleans and she talks about how she's going to be back the next night. She said that Blueface came and saved her and that she only spent a day there, which is not long at all. So maybe it was, like, this is further telling me that it was just the weed charge. And I guess skipping court over weed is that fucking serious in Oklahoma. Jayla says that she's not going to tell the girls that Rock is coming. She wants them to be surprised. Rolly comes to Natalie and they talk about how the fight that they had wasn't worth it. They kind of hash out their differences and put things aside. And I'm like, how long is this gonna last? At the reunion, I'm sure they'll be popping off again. Natalie says, let's go smoke this blunt. And I'm just like, as long as I've known Natalie, I've never known her to be or seen Natalie, watched her, whatever. I've never known her to be a smoker, ever. In the past, she's always said she didn't smoke, so I guess she's a pot smoker now. Jayla starts saging her room. And did y'all notice how she said she was a psychic? And I'm not like saying I don't believe her, but I'm like, that was just random as fuck. Like, because I believe in mediums. I believe in, like, I don't believe in, like, I tell your future type psychics, but I believe in people who can communicate with the dead. But I'm like, Jayla, are you reaching, girl? Are you really a psychic? You know, you can be spiritual. You can have your tarot cards and you can have your rocks or your crystals and stuff like that. But are you really psychic? So Jayla is saging all the girls' rooms. And then when she got to Persuasion's room, it's Persuasion, Slim, and Rolly there in there. And she sages Persuasion, and she's just breaks down crying. And she's like, girl, I'm just starting to cry when I'm around your energy. I have this reason to cry. And you just need to let out all that anger and that hurt, girl. Let it go, let it go. And I'm like, I'm kind of believing Jayla. And Persuasion even says that she's had readings before, and the same in the past, people have told her that during her readings, like, you have all this anger. They've told her the same thing. So I'm like, maybe Jayla is legit. Like, maybe she real deal can pick up on energies. Who knows? But the thing that got me was Rolly said there was not one tear rolling down this girl's eye, and I'm just sitting there thinking, damn, that is fucked up. So obviously Rolly wasn't believing what Jayla was selling, but did y'all notice how when Jayla hugged Rolly, after it was over, after she said what she had to say and saged her and cried, she said, now come give me a hug, Rolly, and she hugged Rolly, and Rolly was like, what did she say? She said, we needed that for real, girl. So, like, you're being two-faced to Jayla. Like, what you tell her, you needed that. We needed that, But then in the confessional, you saying it's fake and you don't believe it. So which one is it? You say she didn't shed one tear. I don't know. Maybe I misinterpreted it. Did y'all catch that? So they're on the way to Anthony's pool party, and they get there, and it looks like a lot of fun. Like, it looks like a lot of fun. And I gotta give Anthony the props on that. The boy can throw a party. Because I was like watching that, like saying, ooh, I want to be there. I want to be there. That looks like fun, right? So yeah, I have to give him his props. A lot of the Bad Boys LA stars are there. We see Curtis, we see Relly B. Who else was there? Gutta was there. Gutta gets ready to perform. He's going to be performing. Or she. I hope I'm not saying anything bad. I don't mean anything bad by that, y'all. So Gutta is going to be performing at Anthony's birthday. This is a birthday party for him. And Sidney motherfucking Thirsty Star shows up. And when I tell y'all, I was, when you see something, secondhand embarrassment, when you see somebody get embarrassed or it embarrasses you, that was kind of me for Sidney at that point. Because I'm like, why, Sidney? Why are you doing this? And let me say this. Let's say my theory is true, that the producers are asking Sidney to show up and do this. I'm paying her a little coin. I would have showed up the first time and started some shit, yeah. But now, if they wanted me to, I would be like, no, I don't want to do that. Can we do it a different way? Like, can we do it after the party? Because I don't want to ruin Anthony's birthday party. Let's do it out in the parking lot. I'll show up with the girls and try to get on the bus with them. Something like that. Because all those people were there, Sidney, and you were getting dogged out. They were like, get the fuck out. You're not, like, you really, really, really looked bad. I'm not going to lie. It looked really bad on you. And what if somebody's watching that wants to hire you or work with you that's not reality based, like they want you to host a party or they want you to be a brand ambassador for their product, but they're worried because you're a fucking hot mess on this show and they wonder if that's really you. You're just gonna show up and start shit unannounced. It's a charity case in my opinion. Like, come on now, Sidney, don't go out like that in front of hundreds of people. It's not a good look. That's just me. Do y'all feel that way? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from y'all. Do y'all feel like it was wrong for Sidney to show up and do that? Especially you get on stage and get the microphone. Like, I get it if she was just going to show up because she just wanted to show up to the pool party. And she knew that, because my thing is, you could be there if you would just be cool. Because if you notice, all the Zeus stars go to different things. Look, the Bad Boys are there. I'm sure it would have been nothing if you would have said, Anthony, can I come to the party too? Like, like, as far as I know, Sidney didn't do anything before, like Sarah, to get crossed out by Natalie and get X out of the Baddies thing. So, Sidney, either you've done something to somebody and they've kind of blackballed you out, or you're just delusional and thirsty and want to show up to create fucking drama and want a moment. Like, I don't get it, because I'm telling y'all, Sidney was on Chasing LA, which is a reality show on YouTube. And when I watched her on there, she's not a cast member, but she was in a scene. And I watched her, and she acts cool. She was normal. Like, so I think this is an act, but I feel like it's just wrong place, wrong time, Sidney. Wrong place, wrong time. And it's also gonna get dangerous for her. Because if you notice, when they try to pull her off the stage, Rail slings water at her. Anthony's like, I don't know if he lunges at her or what. Like, you know, he's trying to get after her and he's on the mic cussing her the fuck out. Like, somebody is going to pop you upside your head doing shit like that. And if we see on the preview for the next episode, her and Persuasion actually go at it. Like, they have a fist fight. And I'm interested to see how that plays out. Because if Persuasion, or if Sidney, let's just say Sidney whooped Persuasion's ass, they're gonna pull the, oh, Sidney was a man. This is not fair. This is not right. They're gonna pull that card. So I'm curious to see how that plays out next week. So I feel like that's some shit they would say if Sidney were to lay the hands and whoop her ass. But we'll see what happens next week. Fight happens down the street. I have an idea, or I have a feeling that next week is the last episode, because if you think about it, they're in Houston this episode. Each city has been about 2 episodes. So I feel like we'll end next week's episode in Houston. They'll do a club appearance at Club 29, I believe the name of it is. They'll go to the club, do that appearance, you know, do their goodbyes probably, and that'll probably be the last episode. And then hopefully we get the reunion, but y'all remember, this is Zeus, so we probably won't get the reunion immediately after next week. It'll probably be like a month. They always wait like a month, and I think they tape the reunion within that month, and then they'll air the reunion like weeks later. Maybe they already have it taped, but I haven't seen any spoilers. You know, usually when they tape reunions on Instagram, you'll see their looks, or you'll see behind the scenes footage. Like, we haven't seen anything like that, so I don't think the reunion has been taped. But other than that, sorry, I'm itching. My ankle's itching. Let me know your comments about this episode below. Do you think Sidney was in the wrong for showing up at Anthony's birthday party unannounced and starting all that shit? I want to hear from you. What do you feel about Chrisean getting arrested at the hotel in New Orleans? Do you feel like there was more to it than just a weed charge that she didn't show up to court on? Or was there more to the story because of the U.S. Marshals? Or is it just weed? Like, maybe that's all it is to it. I don't know. I would love to hear from you guys on this episode overall. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I love each and every one of y'all so fucking much. We'll see you next time.